What's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to another episode of Wake Up Legendary, but it's special this week. We call this six-figure week. Well, quite frankly, because we couldn't really think of anything else. So why not just call it six-figure week? Well, quite frankly, that's what most people want when they start a business, any business, offline, brick and mortar, online. They want to get to the place to where they're making six figures a year. Is roughly about 80 something $100 per month. So it's just under $10,000 per month. And most people look at $10,000 per month and they think, well, that's the place that if I can get to 10,000 a month, then I'm gonna be right. I'm gonna be comfortable. Well, we're gonna hear from somebody today, gentleman named Andrei, who actually over the past year has been able to not generate six figures once, but actually twice. Okay. So, and more. All right. Now, before we introduce Andrei, big income disclaimer. Those results aren't typical. The average person who starts any business online makes no money at all. I don't know how much money you're going to make. I don't know what skills or what dedication you're going to have. Want to be very, very clear about all of that. So we make sure that we don't mislead anybody to think that is all you got to do is press a button and hit go and just six figures is going to pop out of your computer. We all know that that's not true. So with that being said, let's meet the man who has generated six figures, not once, but twice, okay, and more since December of last year. It's my privilege to introduce yet another speaker who's going to be at our upcoming mastermind here. And that's the whole premise. That's the whole theme of this week is we're introducing you to the speakers who are going to be speaking and training at our upcoming mastermind in Orlando, Florida on December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Andrei, welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you so much, Dave. How's it going?
Hey, man, it's going fantastic. Even better now that I get to connect with you. I missed you on the last Wake Up show that you did. This is your second time on the show. You were with Matt last time, so I'm just excited to meet you. I've heard so much about you. Matt has told me so much about you and just your story, what you've been able to accomplish over the past year. First of all, how does it feel?
Oh my God, it's such an accomplishment. My family's happy. I'm super happy. I actually just hit 30 years old, so right here in that mark, I feel like I accomplished so much. It wasn't easy to get to this point, but it's amazing, honestly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your story. Just give us the nutshell version for anybody who doesn't know who you are and how you got started with how you found us. Just let us get to know you a little bit, where you came from and where it all started.
Yeah, so my whole story started in September, actually. My whole online, trying to find something that works online. In September, I was doing drop shipping. So I came across drop shipping first. I think that's a lot of people hear drop shipping before anything else.
Yeah.
I did it for a couple months and it was okay. I got a couple results, but I realized that you needed a lot of capital, which I did not have to get it going, to make it sustainable, basically. So I tried it for 2 months. From there, I stopped doing it, and then I was just scrolling through TikTok, like everybody says that. And then I found affiliate marketing, and then I just got super excited about it. I did not take action right away. It took me maybe like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I was just scrolling. At the moment, I did have like a family emergency, so I had to stay home with my wife, take care of them, and I was just focusing on, okay, what am I gonna do? I'm not working right now because I have to stay home. I had to find different ways to make it work, and then that's when I found affiliate marketing. I ended up taking action. I bought a challenge, and then started learning basically from there. So yeah, from there, I make sure everything was set up correctly. I learned how to do funnels, email autoresponder, had to set everything up because honestly, it's really I think it's a little hard, especially for a beginner to learn all of that. But with your training, it was amazing. Um, as soon as everything was set up correctly, I found out what I actually like doing, which was creating content. So from there, I just focus on that basically.
Yeah. And
But
you
yeah,
haven't looked back. You haven't looked back. I mean, you've achieved with us as an affiliate 2 times platinum over the course of the last year from December, basically in 11 months, right?
correct. It took me
And
11 months.
and then of course you have some other income streams with various things that whether it be software,
Hmm.
autoresponders, or other things that you're promoting to customers that they may also be interested in. And that's just fantastic, man. I mean, where do you live right now? Where do
I'm in
you?
San Antonio.
San Antonio,
Yeah.
Texas. Okay.
Yes.
Are you a? Is your family? Are you originally from Mexico, or are you
No,
from?
I'm from Peru.
You're from Peru.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I immigrated here when I was 14 years old
You did. You did.
with my family, correct?
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering. So I just the last big vacation that I took with my wife was to Peru. Actually,
Oh
we
wow.
flew into Lima, and then went out to the big city that is out by Machu Picchu,
Cusco.
Cusco. Yeah, we
Yes.
spent some time out in Cusco, and then we went over to Machu Picchu, and did some hiking, and it was magical. It's a
Yeah.
really magical place. Um, so you immigrated here at 14.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know
English?
any?
No.
Yeah. How
No,
long?
nothing.
So what did your parents do when you came over? What did they do for work, and
Mhm.
what did your childhood look like, just in a little bit of when you were 14 and when you first came over here? What did that kind of look like?
Well, things kind of changed. I mean, a lot, honestly. Back in Peru, my dad had a really good job. He was a regional manager for, I don't know if you remember the brand Nabisco. I think now it became Kraft.
Mm,
Um, he was a regional manager for the whole northern area of Peru. So we always were traveling from here, place A to place B. But we had a
mhm.
good life. Growing up, it was amazing. Now things happen in Peru. Things weren't that great with the military and whatever's going on with the country. So we
Yeah,
decided to leave and then come here. And then things changed completely. I mean, my mom had to start working because she was a stay-at-home mom. She started cleaning houses. My
yeah.
dad started his own business. He was also cleaning houses and
Wow.
doing installation of offices. And then I was just basically going to school. I mean, I started in middle school. Like I said, not knowing any English. I didn't know any
Yeah.
English. I only knew how to say I don't speak English. That was it.
Right, right.
Then yeah, I went out 4 years in high school. I did a little bit of college, but I realized it wasn't for me.
Mm,
I did make bad choices, like going out with
sure.
friends, partying. So I didn't get a chance to complete my college at all.
Yeah.
But the reason why I was going to college was to become a manager, basically, like a business manager.
Mm,
And then at that point, I was working at a restaurant, and then I worked my way up from the beginning all the way to management. So I ended up accomplishing that was I guess, one of my first goals in life. I
mm,
became a manager, what I wanted to be. And then soon I realized that, oh my God, like it's a lot of work. I did it for 8 years.
A
Um,
restaurant. You're 8 years as
yeah.
a restaurant manager.
hmm I did it for 8 years. Crazy hours, working so many hours. I ended up meeting my wife, so I'm super thankful. We had a child. My daughter's 5 now. But all those 5 years, oh my God, I miss so much. I miss holidays. I miss birthdays because I had to work. It was just
Yeah.
it was. There's no days off for a restaurant. You just have to keep going. And then yeah, eventually I knew this wasn't gonna last. I wasn't happy myself. Like I love
Mhm.
what I was doing, but I was not happy. I was not content anymore. And then I knew something needed to change, and that's when
Yeah.
I started doing this. I started focusing on this even more.
So, um, I wanted you to talk a little bit about your history and your where you came from and what that was like, because we have people all over the world here that are listening.
Hmm.
We have people who are in Italy and who are in all countries, Europe, Australia, South America, and they're wondering, do I have to come to America? to succeed. And
Mhm.
what I think has changed about the opportunity in 2021 is that while you may not be exactly where you want to be right now, and that may go for you if you live in America as well. I don't know. Um, but you can tap into the internet and use the opportunity to be able to jump on these platforms like Legendary, our community, and TikTok and Instagram and all these platforms, and build a business that can generate the resources to you. You don't have to go to the money. You don't have to come to America to succeed. You can do it from wherever you are in the world. And I just want everybody to realize that this opportunity is global. It's worldwide. And not only can you do it from anywhere in the world, you can generate customers from anywhere in the world as
Oh yeah.
well.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen that. Are
Hmm.
you overwhelmed by the amount of people that are now following you, that are now listening to you, that are messaging you saying, Andre, your content's changing my life, you're inspiring me? Are you just, would you ever have thought that this was possible?
Honestly, no. Honestly, I never thought I was gonna inspire people like how I have been inspiring people. I get messages all day, not all day, but like I do get some messages saying, "Oh, I can't wait to meet you," in December, and I'm like, what, like, what, you get me? Like I don't have that mindset. Is still like kind of new, like people want to see me, people want to see what I have to say now. So it just blows my mind, like how far I come to this point.
Do you think you're that much different than everybody else in this community who's trying to build a business, and do you think that do you think that you have something special or different that they don't have?
Not at all. Not at all. Like I feel like I'm like the most average guy. The thing that I know that I have is I always want more basically. Like I don't have that mentality where okay, I'm content, I'm happy here.
Mm,
Like I always want the next step. I always want to keep learning
mm,
basically. So that
okay.
mindset is really not everybody has it.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a little example. For example, I tried to get my wife into affiliate marketing as well, because I saw how good it was, correct? So she started doing it. She did it for a couple months. She did really well. I mean, she was getting good results, but then she does not have that same mindset as like an entrepreneur mindset. And
Yeah.
then that's okay. That's totally fine, but at least she tried it. You get me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we
So do
tried it
you
out.
think that's what separates do you really think that it boils down to mindset?
I think so. I think it's really big. What I tell people, this is something new basically. When somebody sees something on the internet, it's a little scary, you get me?
Yeah.
Because they're seeing, okay, but then I just tell them to just close your eyes for a second, look around. I mean, don't look around, but like open your eyes and then look around, see where you are right now, and then ask yourself, are you happy here?
Mm,
What else, what can you do differently, and then
yeah.
this is a perfect opportunity. People are scared to take a chance, but then those people that are not scared to take a chance, they're just basically building their curriculum. They're just learning, they keep learning, and then it's like their resume. They just keep growing and growing and growing. Doesn't matter what you do,
Yeah.
as long as you say yes to the opportunity, you're gonna keep growing.
Yeah. But you think that the difference really with you is that you feel like you never want to stop growing, like it's never enough. You feel like when you look at whether it be your wife, and I can relate to that. My wife's not an entrepreneur either. She's become more entrepreneurial, but she's not as much of a kind of hardcore hardwired entrepreneur like I
Hmm.
am. But when you look around at people, you think that the difference really is that you feel like you're never done growing. And that's a perfect segue into and I want you to confirm that, but that's a perfect segue into this mastermind, because we have people who are coming from all over the country and all over the world to fly in, and we usually do these every every 3 or 4 months, but
Yeah,
because of
it's a
what's
COVID.
happened,
Mhm.
yeah, we've not been able to do them. But it takes commitment, and it takes somebody really wanting to grow and be around people like you that they can pick up different nuggets and different ideas from. How important, I mean, did you ever do any events when you were doing drop shipping, or did you
Mhm.
not? And did you feel like that was maybe a missing piece?
Maybe, yeah. I honestly never did drop shipping. I mean, sorry, I never went to like a. I never took a course with drop shipping.
I gotcha.
I never talked to nobody about it. It was
Mm,
just basically me doing the research.
yeah. So are
And
you excited personally? I know that you're going to be
um,
speaking here and,
yeah.
and sharing and teaching at the mastermind, but are you also excited just from a perspective of coming as as a student, as somebody who's going to be also looking to pick up different ideas and different nuggets to take home to apply to your business?
Like that's one of the main reasons why I'm going because I want to learn more. Like I wanna see what I'm gonna learn basically.
Yeah.
Of
There's
course
a
I'm
nugget
gonna.
right there, everybody. Andrei's speaking, and he's somebody who we're extremely excited to have come and speak. But the main motivation for you to come is you want to come and you want to learn.
I want to learn. Yeah, it's an opportunity that I cannot miss. As soon as I got that email, I was like, I'm there. I'm gonna be there. And then, yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, I'm excited to share my secrets too, how I was able to get to this point as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to learn them because I mean, it's it's very rare that I see somebody who creates content like you do that goes as goes as viral and generates as many sales. I see people who create content and they may go viral, but they don't create sales. And what you've done is you've had this magical combination of being able to create content that both grows accounts and generates lots of followers, but also from that audience, you've been able to filter out and generate lots of buyers, literally
mhm,
hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I mean, if you've done with us 2 times platinum, I mean, you've done nearly a $500,000 in total sales, right? Roughly.
mhm,
So, I mean, think about that. I mean, here's somebody who started after having a drop shipping business that didn't take off, that you never got any education, never got any mentorship, kind of just went out there on your own, and it didn't work out for whatever reason.
mhm,
You were a restaurant manager. You immigrated here at 14, didn't know English, right? Became a restaurant manager, tried drop shipping, and then found us, took the challenge, started getting educated, and started marketing. And here over the last 11 months, you've done over a $500,000 in total sales if we probably combine other things that you've sold as well. So how does somebody, I think this is the question that we all need to ask ourselves if we're on the fence about coming to this mastermind, is how does somebody generate, you know, basically create money out of thin air? I mean, it's like, people, there's lots of people who are out there creating TikToks. There's lots of
mhm,
people who are out there posting on Instagram. There's lots of people who are even trying to build businesses on TikTok and Instagram and social media. But there's a small percentage of people who are both building audiences but generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales from that audience. So, for me, even though I've been doing this for 10 years and have done hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, what applied yesterday may not apply today.
correct.
And so when you're speaking, what I'm going to be doing is listening very intently on what your strategies are, because I may be able to apply that to things that I'm doing to be able to generate more sales from an audience. Because I think the important point that I'm trying to make here is there's there's audience building, but then there's monetizing that audience. And one thing that you've been really what you've done a great job at is monetizing your audience. And so what you're saying, and I've got your verbal commitment right here on the show, is that you're going to reveal the secrets that you've used to be able to both grow your audience, but also to monetize that audience and do hundreds of millions of dollars, over a $500,000 in sales conservatively from the audiences that you've built, with getting accounts shut down and banned and then having
Yes,
to restart, right?
exactly. Yeah. So I had this Instagram account, 35,000 followers, which I think for Instagram that's even way more than a TikTok following. Because it's really hard. It's harder to get more followers on Instagram. But yeah, out of nowhere, it got shut down. Actually, on my birthday, like it was completely, and I was like, "Wow, what am I gonna do?" I ended up. I want to give a shout out to Matt actually, because I sent him an email, and then he replied back saying, "Wow, okay, well, now it's time to work. Like the real business starts now." And that actually motivated me even more. I ended up creating a new account, and then I started from zero, and then a month later I grew it to 10,000 followers.
Mm,
My new account, so it's possible. Anybody can do it. Even when you go through those hurdles, just hop on, and then keep going. Basically, don't stop.
yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, that's why I was telling you I've, I was talking to Matt as he was working with you. And I mean, I think what is really enlightening for me that always seems to be true, it's a pattern amongst people who are succeeding, is they are amazingly humble. They're amazingly just way above what you would think, willing to sit down and listen and ask questions and learn, and they don't feel like they know it all. And then you got people who, you talk to them, or they've got an answer for everything. They've got it all figured out, but then you look at their results and their results are not there. You know what I mean? But they've
Mhm.
got a big ego and they've got it all figured out. And I just, if there was one thing that I would like, if I had one chance to say to my kids, hey, this is my last piece of wisdom, it would be a lifelong learner. Like, never get so big for your britches that you feel like you don't need to humble yourself and learn, because even more so today, technology is changing so rapidly, man.
Mhm.
Like, platforms are changing so quickly that you really have to be plugged into a community of people who are in the trenches doing it, so you can stay up with, like, what's going on with this algorithm, or what's the new hot, is there a new hot platform that's, taken off and is really rocking and rolling right now. So for you, you know we've talked a little bit about being that lifelong learner.
Mhm.
Um, what is something else, like? And I think my hope is that people are really going to stop looking for the secret, waiting for the skies to part and stone tablets to be delivered, and Jesus to come down and sprinkle magical fairy dust or whatever on them, and now all of a sudden they're going to be anointed with amazing money making skills. It doesn't happen like that. Sometimes, depending on whatever your spiritual belief is, the blessing, the answer is right in front of you. And a lot of times we just miss it, because we're looking for some big burning bush,
Mhm.
and right now there's an opportunity for some of you to come down to Orlando in December and connect with a lot of really smart entrepreneurs. And the question is, are you going to do whatever it takes to get there? I remember an event that I did, Andre, where, a lady raised her hand in the middle of the event. And I said, I mean, who, because sometimes I like to say, who traveled the farthest? And this lady said, I don't know about traveling the farthest, but it felt like forever, because I drove in my car and I'm sleeping in my car outside. It was at a
Oh
hotel.
wow.
She was like, I'm sleeping at in a. I remember Sean Lowry, who's another guy in our community. I remember he sold his car to get to an event that I put. So he sold his car to get a plane ticket to be able to fly to this event. And I mean, there's just, for you, talk, what is a sacrifice, or what are some new sacrifices that you're making inside of your business or inside of your life to be able
Mhm.
to make this business work? What is it? Some sort of, are you not going out? What sort of sacrifices have you had to make in order to make this the success that it is for you?
Yeah, at least going forward with this business, I knew I wanted to do this full time. So I guess the sacrifice that I was making in the beginning was I was focusing a lot on the business and not on my family, my wife, my daughter. So
Mm,
those beginning months, it was really tough. It was a lot of mental, like family issues and stuff like that. But she understood. My wife understood the end goal. You get me? The
yeah,
end goal was okay. Well, I'm gonna stop doing this full time. Um, as soon as I started doing this full time, my relationship started growing with my wife.
yeah,
I had a relationship with my daughter even more now. Like I take her to
right,
school. I'm here. So I guess the sacrifice right now is not as bad as in the beginning.
right,
But then look now where I'm at. Like all those sacrifices, it needed to happen
yeah.
in order for us to still be together. In order for us to get to the point that we are right now.
And I know what that's like, man, because I've had to sit my wife down and say, I know that I've tried things in the past before and maybe they didn't work out, but I need your support in this.
Hmm.
Like I need to go to this event, or I need to buy this course, or I need 90 days to where I need to basically lock myself in this office when I get home from work, or maybe I don't have a job. Maybe some of you
Hmm.
are sitting at home right now and you don't have a job. And it's like, instead of, sometimes I think we're afraid to ask for our partner's support because maybe we've tried things in the past that didn't work out. And there's another guy named Andre Miller. He's a BPA. He also was and is a successful affiliate. He's somebody who started as a client, as a student here, and then became an advisor on our team and wanted to work more closely with us. But when he was starting his business, he had come from Jamaica, man.
Oh wow.
He was working on cruise ships and stuff, and met his wife on in the cruise business, and they ended up getting together, coming to America, and they were broke, man. They were broke, and basically, Andre said, "I want to start an online business," and she's like, "No, why don't you need to get a real job, man? I mean, you need to get
Yeah.
into the system."
Hmm.
She's like, "You need to get into the system." That was a phrase that I'll never forget that she said when Andre was telling that story. You need to get into the system, right? Because he had come from Jamaica,
Yeah.
and he wasn't really in the American system. And basically he goes, well, that I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Not that I don't want to pay my taxes, but I want to build a business. I want to start a business.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I don't want you to do that. And he looked at her and he said, well, do you have a better idea right now? Right. And he wasn't rude.
Right.
But do you have a better idea? If you don't, I need your support. And what I'm going to challenge some of you to do, as you're listening to our Andre that we're talking to right now, and you're listening to some of these other examples that I'm giving you, I want to challenge some of you to really sit down with your spouses and re-ask for support. Go back to them and say, look, I may have been rude before, or I may have been passive aggressive before, or I may have been defensive before, right? Because I felt insecure about things that I've done in the past that didn't work out. I may have been defensive, right? I may have been giving you the cold shoulder. I may have been distant over the last couple of months, but here's what I want. I want to be connected, and I need your support, because we're coming to the end of another year. We're in the beginning, November 2nd today. We're coming to the end of another year. And guess what? We're going to be back up at January 1st, where everybody's going to be making their New Year's resolutions. That's right around the corner. That's 2 months away. And the last thing that you want is to be sitting in January 1st saying, what did I accomplish the last year? And to say nothing. I didn't accomplish anything. Why didn't I accomplish anything? Well, because I didn't ask for what I need. I didn't go for what I want, right? And you're talking about that family unit, Andre, and you're talking about at the beginning you did sacrifice a little bit of time, and
Mhm. Yeah.
but we live and we learn, and you guys, and actually that was necessary. I had to do the same thing. Now, what I didn't do, Andre, was I didn't sit my spouse down like I'm recommending everybody do, because my communication skills sucked 10 years
Yeah.
ago. I was a quite frankly, I was a little asshole. I didn't know how to. I thought I was great at sales, but I realized the biggest sale that I ever was going to make was convincing my wife to support me. You know what I mean? And that was the biggest. That was the biggest. You know, and then marry me. Crazy. I'm serious. You know, it's like, holy shit, this guy's. You know, this guy could either take us to the moon or, you know, take us right down the elevator to hell. You know, but that's my challenge for a lot of you, is to sit down and ask your spouse or whoever is in your corner there and say, look, I do need to sacrifice some things like what Andrei just said. I do need to sacrifice for 90 days. I do need to sacrifice even through the holidays some time to focus on my business. And here's what I can promise you. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I can promise you that I'm going to give it everything that I got. And then when you make that commitment and you're verbally accountable to somebody, particularly somebody that's as important as your spouse, when you're verbally accountable, then you follow through. And you take action, right? Whether it's, and you do both. You take action with your education, and you also take action with your business. And that's my challenge. And I think we're going to meet a lot of people in December in Orlando who made that commitment and who have had that conversation with their spouse, Andrei. And now you say that the benefits of making that early commitment and making those early sacrifices are the benefits far outweigh that little bit of pain in the beginning, right?
Yeah. So now everything basically has paid off, you know. I'm able to have more time. Now when my wife gets home from work, I disconnect, you know, and now I'm home. Before I would get home to keep working, basically. Now she gets home, everything's taken care of. Me and my daughter, our relationship has grown even more now, you know. Now we have actually something to connect. And it's kind of sad how it had to happen. But it's just like you never choose what kind of life you're gonna live, you know. I mean, you do, but as a manager, that I was stuck there, you know, like that was my stuff. I was getting money, I needed to pay things off, so I needed to stay there. You get me? And then after that, she supported me. Something that I did with all of my goals, my personal goals, was I will make my goals my wife's goals. So I will tell, hey babe, I'm gonna pay off our debt. I'm gonna pay your debt off. You know, I'm gonna buy you a house. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this, and that was how I found my motivation, and that's what kept me going. Like my goals became her goals, basically.
Wow. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. I think, you know, sometimes it's these. I know it is. I know it's these things we're talking about today that move the needle the most for people. It's the mindset that you mentioned early in the conversation. It's this really getting on the same page with our spouse. That nugget, that tip that you just gave is amazing, because now all of a sudden, you know, if you have a spouse who's a little bit skeptical, or who's really they're just scared, you know, really they're just scared. Yeah, it's not that they don't support us. It's that they're just unsure. They're scared. They want to make sure that we have a roof over our head. They want to make sure that there's food in the fridge. And so when we begin to future pace and paint goals for ourselves that are in alignment with them, that also benefit them. You know, I want to start a business because I'm going to be famous. One day I'm going to be speaking on stages, honey. You'll see. Well, you know, what's in it for her? We have to be, or what's in it for him if it's just all about you speaking on stages. But what you just said, hey, one day I want to buy us a house. I want to buy you your dream home. You know, I want to buy you your dream car. I want you to start thinking about the car that you want to drive, because I want to buy you that car. That's what I'm working for. I want to pay off your debt. Those are some things that you can begin to talk about with your spouse that gets, you guys on the same page. And so now all of a sudden, it's not just about you and your own selfish goals, like being famous on Instagram because think about it as well. You start getting famous on social media and your spouse might be thinking, shit, you know, hey, who are all these? I know my wife, I was just sitting on the computer, you know, And then all of a sudden, my wife came to one of my first events. This was the first event I'd ever done. And there was all these people there. They all knew my name, other women coming up saying, "Oh, Dave, can I get a picture?" and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm going, absolutely. And my wife's going, what the fuck? What the hell? But it's, but now 10 years later,
Right.
it's very different, and eventually it got very different very quick. Like, she understood, but still the point here is that I had to learn that if I wanted to be this great marketer, that I needed to learn how to create irresistible offers to get my spouse, to get my family on my support train. And sometimes, folks, when you want to get to a mastermind event, sometimes, folks, when you want to invest in a course and you want to start a business, or you want to, you need 90 days or 6 months of total focus and for them to support you in that mission, you need to go sell them on that. We just can't. And I think that the best convincer is obviously money, right? It's like,
Well,
if you really want to get your spouse to support you, then you got to get some money flowing in. But to get some money flowing in, you need to be in go mode. You need to be in flow mode. And I don't know about the rest of you, but for me, when I'm in conflict, Andre, with my wife, I'm not in flow mode. I'm not. Because if I've got conflict in my house, and if I've got conflict in the most important relationships in my life, there is no way that I can be in total flow mode, in total go mode. I get negative, I get depressed, I get sad. Okay. So I need to be in alignment with these important relationships around me so I can be in go mode and I can be in flow mode. And so Andre today, folks, has given you some incredible tips along with some of the challenges that I've given you to get in alignment with your relationships, get in alignment with your spouse. If you want to come to this mastermind, sit them down and tell them what is going to be in it for them for you to come to this mastermind. What's in it for them? Not just what's in it for you. What's in it for them to come to this mastermind and get registered and come down and meet Andre, meet the other speakers, meet me, hang out for the weekend. And Andre, I can't wait to hang out with you, my friend, and meet
I
you
can't wait.
and learn from you, brother.
Yes, I'm super excited to meet you in person. Actually, it's gonna be a blast.
All right, man. Well, have a great day, brother. All right.
Thank you,
Keep
brother.
up the great work. Super proud of you. Incredible story. Like, super inspirational, man. We'll put up your handle there so people can go and follow you on TikTok and Instagram and get connected in your network as well. And stay legendary. We'll see you at the mastermind.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys there.
All right. All right, my friends, there is a pinned comment, okay? There's a pinned comment. You can go to that page, read about the mastermind, get registered. This is for those of you who have bought the mastermind, okay? So you already have mastermind access or mastermind, you've already purchased your ticket. You've already, you bought the mastermind, and now is all you have to do is you just have to register. There's no additional purchase that's necessary. If you want to come to the mastermind, you can reach out to your advisor and see if we have spots available. We may not be opening up any other tickets right now. It's kind of on an hourly basis as people register. But if you already have a mastermind ticket, we are holding registration space for you to go get registered. All right. So hit that link. You'll log into your back office. You'll fill out the registration information. You're going to give us your dietary stuff, so we can make it comfortable, an amazing experience. We're going to feed you lunch and so forth at the event. We'll give you hotel recommendations and so forth, tell you where to fly into, all that stuff. So hit the link down in the comments, go over to that page, read about the mastermind, and then click the link, log into our back office, get registered. We'll see you back here for another episode. Tomorrow, my friends, we'll have another guest who's going to be speaking at the mastermind. We'll save it. You can go to the page and see who the speakers are, but you can guess who we're going to have on tomorrow. We'll see you back here for another episode. I want to thank Andre again. Fantastic story. Have a great day, folks. Get out of here. Stay legendary. and go get registered for the event. Peace.
Mastermind, it's really confirmed in me the fact that I really can do it. I have to take action, but I am perfectly able to do it. There's so many paths. There's no one right way, which I love that. And you be yourself, and you're going to attract people who are like you.
It was awesome, and I'm not just saying that to pump up Dave. It was awesome. It was worth way more than I spent. Familyness and the friendliness and the be able to talk to folks that's running Legendary Marketing, and they were just down to earth and would do everything on the planet to help me and everybody that was here. I mean, it was priceless.
This Legendary system, the way it's set up, it feels more genuine. It's not like hype. It's work that you're going to do, and we're here to help you. It's not like, hey, you're going to get rich next week, you know? And I get that, and it's like, wow, man, they're being really honest with me.
Telling, and also you taught us very well that we want to give value, you know? It's not about what we can make. That is definitely not the first priority. The first priority is to give value to other people.
You can always hold yourself back because of fear. Eventually you're just gonna regret not doing something. And for me, doing this was, you know, my leap of faith. It was like going in and go and do it and don't look back.
This whole journey of from click to sitting here in Florida to pretty nice pad. If you'd asked me 6 months prior, I would have been like, no. No, that's not me. That's not my lifestyle. You know, that's not what I do. I'm the go-to guy. I'm dependable, but I'm not going to go outside my comfort zone because I'm so strong at these things. Why would I need to? And that's the thing. I needed to.
Action-packed. The first day was very content-driven. It was more strategy and stuff like that, and then the second day was more mindset, motivation, and a lot of stories being shared. But I love the fact that people were actually vulnerable, sharing their stories, sharing their experiences, and stuff like that.
Before I came to Mastermind, 5 out of 10, and by now it's like I'm 10 out of 10, well equipped to go forward and be me than I used to be 3 days ago.
But every time I talk to somebody, I get a different perspective on advertising, something I hadn't noticed, or a new way to advertise, or a new site to use to help me in my advertising.
I got so much value from so many people, let alone the coaches. The coaches were woo, but just even the people who are on this journey. And look at the value that I'm getting from you. Let's say if there was no coaches, the people who are here for the first time, just spending time with them, learning from them, learning their stories and how determined and motivated they are. Oh my God.
When I just got to talking to some of the people that was here, you know what I'm saying, and they kind of was throwing ideas around for me, you know what I'm saying, and that's where it comes to the masterminds, you know what I'm saying, that's what the big benefit is, coming to masterminds, you know what I'm saying, you can pick up ideas from different people, and I just would say, well, that's what I'm good at, so I ran with it.
I've got accountability partners that I've met through, you know, like the leadership program, and I'm on Zoom calls several times a week with people. So I am in constant touch with people from the Legendary, and we help each other out.
It's really hard to learn all this information on your own, and I've tried to learn things on my own, you know, doing YouTube videos and Udemy courses and things, you know, like paying for one little program here, one little program there, and then you might only be taught about one particular opportunity, you know, or only taught a portion of the information because the person is pitching a course that they want you to enroll in. So this gives you like a big picture overview of so many different options that you could do in the online space.